This episode of A Guide Reborn is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, head on over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV and consider that first show on me. Hello, Internet Magic Man here from XIVNation.com, bringing you another episode of A Guide Reborn. This time it's a bit of a longer one because we're going to cover a little more in-depth. I've been very busy leveling all the classes, the Disciples of War and the Disciples of Magic, to be exact on which classes I'm leveling, because I want to open up all jobs. Well, to do that, you've got to get all classes to level 30. And so I figured I would make a video spotlighting the zones I do this in, the fates that I do this in, because I've picked it up pretty quickly. I can normally get a class from 1 to 30 in maybe a session and a half or 2 sessions of gaming. So a couple hours on 2 different days, bang, and I get a new 30. So I'm going to take you through it. It may not be groundbreaking to you. We're going to start in Aleport at around level 15. And some of you may already know these as the hot spots for different fate grinding. I'm not going to cover 1 through 15. If you've leveled A class before, you already know that your hunting log and just running around slaughtering things, even naked with no armor on, as your new class with your new weapon and completing your level 5, 10, and 15 quests isn't too bad. You can pick that up really, really quickly. If you need to, though, and I'm sorry, I'm stalling the delay or the loading screen here a little bit while I finish up explaining 1 through 15. If you really need to, though, feel free to use a couple leave quests or hit Aleport a little earlier. You'll be fine anywhere from level 10 to 20 doing the leaves in Aleport. I tend to like coming in at level 15. It makes my stay in Aleport very, very short. And I'm right into the leaves that give me the best amount of experience, and I can kind of dodge and duck and stay away from the ones that I don't quite like. So, let's jump right in here. Apparently Fraps is making loading take just a bit longer than normal. You know, like forever longer. And we're going to do this on my Arcanist. So we're going to start there. We're going to pick that up at level 15 in Aleport. Right now I'm Gladiator, so we'll have to switch a little bit and get started. Now, I'm not going to join a Fate group. I'll try to join one, but if I don't catch one right away, it's okay, especially for this particular class. Once you get to Aleport, though, you should jump into a Fate group, because this is not all about just running through the fates as fast as you can. You can do that by yourself. But there's also some extracurricular stuff that I want you to do to kind of speed things up. And I'm not going to do it alone because it doesn't make a lot of sense. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. It's just some extra experience I don't want you cheating yourself out of. Get in a Fate group. There's plenty to go around. Just shout looking for Fate group, and you'll have one very, 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 very quickly. All right, so first up we have Don't Call Him a Fishback in the northwest segment. This is a very easy fate. All you got to do is go and kill the Shallowtails that are running around in this small zone. I'm going to give you a little overviews of each of the fates, which ones I like, which ones I don't, and any tips on them as we go around. This is a decent one, very easy. The cool part about Aleport and why I prefer this map over somewhere like Drybone or Hawthorne Hut, the reason I prefer this is things are tighter together. Everything's very, very close. The level 10 through 20 leaves are all in the southeastern portion of the map. You'll see that when I show my map, I don't even expand and show you the northwest portion, the southwest portion of this zone, because those are all 30 and 40 level leaves, where just this small little, right outside Aleport and southeast of Aleport, is where we're going to target. Next up, level 15, Between Aurochs. Now, I've finished up here. I've done pretty much as well as I'm going to do, so I take off. Keep in mind that when you're doing this, when you're grinding fates, even when you're in a party, you want to keep your eyeballs on the map. poke your nose in there. Now, see, I'm halfway to the next fate when getting my experience, my gold level experience, so I didn't cheat myself out of anything really much by leaving early, but I make sure that I'm going to get to this Aurochs fate and get a few more points of damage in before some other people and just boost my rating up so that I can get some experience. So stay in tune with the map. Not only bouncing from one to the next, but not so much in Aleport, but in the next area it's even more important. There's some fates that if you're at them simply because they were the only fate on the map, something else will pop, and it doesn't matter. You'll want to leave the fate that you're on, and we'll touch on those as we get to them as well. Aurochs, pretty easy. Nuke them all down. Now let's head over here. This is what I wanted to show you. Get in a group, and if they're not doing this, teach them this. 2622 on the map, there's a group of gobs, and this is a great spot on the map, not only for the gobs here, but this is also the spawning point for 2 different fates, and then there's a slew of fates that spawn just to the west of this, and 1 fate that spawns just to the east of this, so it's a very nice spot to be camping in. Don't sit down in Aleport and wait for each fate to spawn. Come up here with your party and grind these mobs. They're easy, fast experience, and it gives you something to fill that downtime in between fates so that you're not hitting experience walls. Get your group to do this. If you grind all the gobs down and you still don't have a fate, there's hedge moles just over the cliff in front of me here. You can jump down there and clear out a bunch of those very quickly. These are nice grinding points with a ton of experience just sitting in one spot. You don't even have to frickin' move. Just kill them. If your party isn't doing this, they really, 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 really should be. It's just easy extra experience. There's the hedge moles that I'm telling you about. Just big groups of them, 5 and 6 at a time. Tender Buttons, level 12, lower right corner. This is a very easy one. Gluttonous Gertrude, go and nuke the big fat dodo down. It's not too demanding. Not very long. You'll only be here for a few seconds. Nuke the bird, move on. But I'll let you watch the kill anyway. These are my favorite types of fates, incidentally, when we're doing this type of speed grind to level. I love these fates that are like a boss monster that you can walk in, you can whip up on for about 25 and 50% and bolt to the next one if a fate pops. They're really nice to chain them together. Yeah, I mean, there's no bonus or anything, but if you get yourself to gold and then move on to the next one, you can really start getting the experience very, very, very quickly. Again, spot check my map when this thing's Gertrude's about 30%. Make sure I shouldn't be heading anywhere. If not, I'll stay here and continue to nuke. Great way to grind seals, too. Now, this is one of the 2 fates at the Gobby spawn point. So this is 2622 on your map. Now, this is the easier of the 2, and neither one's difficult. Easier, I mean, it's mindless. Triptychs, Stumble Mocks, it's another single boss burn thing. Now, there are Goblin Hunters that you can take down for some extra experience in the process, but it's pretty much just burn Triptychs. The next one here is one of those fates that you can do a little more than was probably thought by design, but the trick is you're going to have to get the rest of the group to go with you. We'll talk about it when we get there. There's 1 or 2 of those in this zone, and there's 1 or 2 of them in the 20 through 30 bracket that I'm going to take you through as well. So burn Triptychs down here. Very easy fate. Get your experience. Move on. Level. I just died in 6 arms tonight is next. Level 13, just southeast of Aleport, but you've got to go around the cliffs. Old 6 arms is another single boss fight. Very easy one, especially for range. Just stay at range. None of these are very difficult or going to kill you. Now, I know you're seeing the fates spliced up. and that's because I wanted to show you locations on the map, show you which ones you should be going for, and give you a basic idea of what you'll be doing when you get there if you haven't done these already. What you're not seeing is obviously the travel time and things like that. To give you an idea of how long this takes, once I hit 14, 15, and I decide, okay, I'm going to go to Aleport, I spend a couple hours here. Literally, that's it. Maybe 2 hours, sometimes a little more, depending on if what time I get on and if the population's a little lower. All in the course of making just this video to call out each fate to you at least once here. Just in the time it took to see each fate once, I took Arcanist from 15 to 18. So we're almost done in Aleport, and all I was doing was creating a video to make sure that I hit each and every fate for you. Unfortunately, the studious among you will notice once we complete Aleport here, there's one fate missing, because the damn thing just would not pop. There's normally a trail one. I'll show it to you in a little bit here. That's not quite. We don't get to see it. Bahamut soup. Ignore the hell out of that one, especially when you get something like this where the letters pops at the same time. The level 10 in the lower right corner of the map is a single boss fight. It takes so long to get to, and if you come to Aleport at 15 or higher, it's automatically one you're going to have to level sync to, and the experience just really isn't worth it if you get anything else to pop on the map at the same time, like I just did. Letters is very easy. Go and burn down some ads. I was there for 20% of it and still got gold. Last straw. This is one of the two here in Aleport that you can really milk if you're in a good group and you can get everybody else to behave. The only point of this one is to burn down these dodos' nests. Once all of them are burned down, the last straw is complete and everybody's awarded. However, the dodos that you see in front of me, I mean, they're not the fate ones, but there's similar ones behind me. You'll see as soon as I turn around. They will keep spawning, and you can really grind some experience for quite some time here. Burn that clock, that 15-minute clock, all the way down, killing these wild dodos, getting some nice experience very quickly, and leaving the nests alone. But, yes, it's nice if your group is doing it, but you also have to make sure that the other fate groups that are around you are burning the mobs for the experience as well and staying away from the nests. So it's decent experience and very quick experience if you can get everybody to go along with you. Particularly this one, very rarely do parties ever stick around because the dodos are level 9, so they are a few levels behind where everybody's progressing to. So don't expect too many parties to sit here and burn, but occasionally you'll get the accidental burn where you end up fighting these things for about 10 minutes and suck up some nice experience. Other than that, just burn the nests and go. Since I have not gotten into a group for the sake of recording, I will go ahead and just burn the nests so we can move on. And almost done. The fate we're missing, by the way, is the massive amount of goblins that appear on the path between Aleport and Sastasha. All it is a gobby wave. Just kill them all. Absolutely, positively. Back over here, killing Shallow Claws. Keeping the courier alive. This is one of those fates that's mobile, so you're going to have to catch it somewhere between Aleport and the South Tide Gate. That's where the courier is on their way to. At various points along the path, you'll get mobs that spawn just like these killer mantises, mantis, and mantisesis. Many killer manti. So take them out, move to the next group of monsters, and keep going down the line. Again, nothing here is going to really challenge you. In fact, it really doesn't matter in most cases if your group has a healer or not. If you're going to farm the gobs in between the fates, then I would suggest you have at least one healer, since the bomb toss from 12 gobs can get kind of funky on the positioning. So, have a healer. This is the other gobby one at 2622, where you should be farming, the Iron Contra affair. This, like the nests one for the dodos, is a fate where if you can get everybody to stop turning crap in and burn goblins, you can rack up quite a bit of experience over 15 minutes. So the object of the fate is to actually pick up the crates of contraband and turn them into the NPC you see glowing in the lower right corner of the mini-map right now, just on the periphery of the fate circle itself. Cool, easy, whatever, but what you really want to do is try to convince everybody to just farm the goblins, because they spawn at a very quick rate and there's a ton of them. And if you're sitting there, especially if you've got a black mage that's popping blizz too and tagging a bunch of these gobs, for crying out loud, that's great experience. Again, it's another one where it doesn't often work out that way. Again, we're in an area where new players are still coming up, so school people, but don't be a jerk. You know, teach them how to get this experience, because they may not be like you, leveling alternate classes. They may be here on their first class, and they don't know. So, school some people, help them out. Don't be a jerk. If worst comes to worst, turn your things in like I just did, and then bolt for tender buttons to take down Gertrude again if it pops up. Again, awareness of the map, knowing what's going on. I've already determined that I've turned in enough contraband that I'm going to get decent experience. So as soon as I can mount here, there we go, I'm bolting to the next one, because all I've got to do is get a tag or two on Gertrude and I'm going to get decent experience. So it's worth the bolting from one fate to the next. I'm going to get almost full experience from Iron Contra affair, and if I get down to Gertrude fast enough, I can get almost full experience there too. So I rack up some XP very, very quickly, which is the whole point of what we're doing here. And like I said, I went from 15 to 18 just in the course of making this video. I don't spend a lot of time in Aleport. Like I said, maybe 2 hours. Usually less if I can find a party that stays together, or if people are leaving, the party leader is subbing in and out very quickly. Let me touch on that very quickly, though, because that's an important part of this. There's my Iron Contra experience coming in, and we're halfway through Gertrude dying. If you happen to end up starting a Fate group here, or you join one and you end up being the leader of it, don't take it too seriously. It's not a big deal. Just do what you would want any leader to do. It doesn't have to be this huge, oh my god, I'm the party leader thing, guys. If somebody leaves, send an invite to somebody that shouts. It's not hard. Every couple of minutes, somebody's going to shout that they're looking for a Fate group. All you got to do as you're going here is just keep the groups full. If you keep the groups full, everybody's going to be happy, even if nobody's saying a word. Just keep inviting people as they go. Volunteer to be the leader if you want to. All you've got to do is just keep inviting people when people leave. It's not hard. Now, this is one of the last ones here in Aleport, in the sack, very northeast of Aleport, just outside the Tide Gate. And all this one is waves of more killer mantises. Mantis. Mantis sounds stupid. It's many mantis. Sure, that sounds right. And just nuke them. Another AoE event as well. So this is Aleport. You'll spend about 2 hours here. Obviously, there's other options. You can do Hawthorne Hut, which is like a 15-ish zone, or a 15-ish location. You could do Drybone if you want to. I prefer Aleport just because everything's neat, compact, tight together. There's 1 or 2 level 10 ones that I just stay away from generally. This one, the Killing Fields, is a level 10 one. I did want you to see it, though, since I kind of ignored the other level 10. Normally, I won't even come down here for this. A lot of groups also teleport between Aleport and Swiftperch to hit these ones. I find that if you're level 15 or 16, if you happen to be next to one of these, go ahead and by all means level sync down and kill it. But if not, it's really not worth it to book it all the way down there. If somebody's going to teleport the group and you can ride a free teleport, fine. I don't go out of my way for these 2 level 10s, that's all. If there's anything else on the board, I'm going to the anything else. Once you hit 20, you can hang around in Aleport a little more if you want, or you can head to Quarrymill, which is what I normally do. Now, this lower left-hand portion of the map by Camp Tranquil, we'll touch on it later. Let me get through the fates that are in the northern part of the zone here first. We're going to start off, we got 2 at the same time. Conspiracy Theory on the left and Hunted on the right. Hunted, if you ever see both up at the same time, Hunted is the one to go to first. Especially if you're in the early 20s, early to mid-20s. Conspiracy Theory can be a nice one, but you have to get to it pretty much as it goes up, and you need to be a little bit of higher level so you can rack in some more damage. So always go to Hunted first, get your couple of tags in here, get your full experience on Sirocco, and then you can come out of this little alcove and go over to Conspiracy Theory. Now, I'm playing Gladiator now. I jumped to a different class to get you the footage for these fates in the Quarrymill area. So now I'm a little more tanky and a little more damage. I am going to join a group as soon. I just happened to pop these 2 as soon as I got here. We're going to run over to Conspiracy Theory, which is probably almost over, but all it is a kill different ads that are in the circle. They're distributed all over the circle. They're Redbelly officials. Just go and beat them up. Since this one's yeah, it's almost over, I'm going to take you to a good spot, show you it right here. When you first come here, if you can get here very early, park your butt at this spot right here. 1722 by the big tree and the small tree. You'll get 1 target or maybe 2 targets sometimes at a time in here, and you can just repeatedly beat them down until the fate is over. You'll get some decent experience this way. Doesn't matter your level. You'll get more as you kill more, but at least it'll make it worth coming to this fate. This fate is one of those that it's low priority for me on the map, just like this one, Stag Parting. This, along with Conspiracy Theory, are my lowest priority fates on the map. And it's because the experience isn't all that great if you don't get there the moment it goes up. If you come in halfway, there's a good chance that it just really was not worth your time. And they're both as pretty much as far from both Quarrymill and Camp Tranquil as you can get, so they're not exactly fast to get to unless you happen to just be sitting there or you've done another fate and they pop right next to you. So, yes, keep these ones in mind, but they are the lowest priority on the map for me. Kicking it with Kedraps is a nice one right outside Quarrymill. Very easy fate to do, just burn down Kedraps. Usually some very good experience for this one, though. So if this is kind of like my mid-tier. In Aleport, we really didn't have to divide them up into tiers because, yes, there's a little bit of overlap, but for the most part, it's 1 fate at a time. Sometimes you see 2, but not often. Quarrymill, however, this does happen an awful lot, so you need a priority list. Conspiracy Theory and Stag Parting, very low priority. Kedrap, middle rank priority. If it's on the map and it's the only one on the map, obviously go to it. If it's on the map and the other thing on the map is Conspiracy Theory or Stags, go to Kedraps. So that's the middle. Same thing here with Robin Goblins. This is another fate where you can get a lot of experience farming if you can get the group to work together and burn goblins. If you're not doing that, pick up the crates, take them to the NPC. 6 crates will do this one for you. Keep that in mind. Yes, you can grab extra crates if you want to, but 6 is the magic number that you're looking for here. Because, again, you're keeping your eyes on the maps, guys. That way you can bounce to the next fate as fast as possible. There's also a grinding area here, too, in the north by Redbelly Hive. There's a lot of mobs that gather there. Even this camp is a good grinding site in between fates. If you want to do that, great. Keep in mind, though, that the fates are a bit faster in Quarrymill because there's more of them. So the grinding is not as beneficial as it was in Aleport, but hey, any extra experience is good experience, and this pool is a good place to do it between fates. Turn in your 6 crates, keep your eyes on the map, because 6 will get you gold and you can book it to something else if you need to. Again, this is another mid-priority fate. There's a couple super high priority fates on this map, and those are non-negotiables. When they pop, you get your butt to them. It doesn't matter if you're 21 or you're 29, because these fates start at around 10,000, 11,000 experience and will be netting you upwards of 20,000 experience each time you do them once you're close to the 30 mark here. So I've turned 5 in. I'm going to run out of time here. Yep, no biggie. So I'll take silver this time. Another round, a level 22 at Bascaron's Druthers. Just a kind of a one-boss type deal. Spencer of the Bottomless Cup has decided to cause a scene. Mid-level, mid-priority here. So we've got a low, a mid, and a high. This is a mid-priority because it's decent experience. Also a nice way to segue into a low-priority one, like maybe Stags, since Stag is just north of here. But you got to get them to pop at the right time. To Whom the Toll Goes, level 22, right at the crossroads between Bascaron's Druthers and Quarrymill. This one's a bit of a challenge. If you get to it at the right time, it can be decent experience. But you really need to have your party know what they're doing. There's 2 points, choke points here. One we're at, and one's a little west of here. Just travel down the path west. And that's where the Redbellies keep spawning and coming around to, is these 2 points. Pick a choke point and stay at it and just burn whatever comes there. Don't try and bounce back and forth. Let everybody in your party pick a particular choke point and just do their thing at that choke point. That's the best way to gain experience. This is one that if you mouse over, it's a mid-level priority, but if you mouse over and the time is already around 13 and a half minutes or so, if there's something else on the map, go there. You're not going to get much experience if it's past the 13. High priority, breaching the hive. Now in this zone, this area, there's actually a few different fates. 3, 4 if you're being technical, but 1 leads to another one. So there's 3 initial fates. Breaching, the one we're doing now, breaching the hive is the one you'll probably see the least of, actually, because it isn't often that the hive is not, that the hive needs to be taken over. If you do have to breach the hive, all that you've got to do is work your way through the gates. Just beat up each gate. You saw us kill the first one. Now we're inside, nuking some sharp eyes. There's a gate up here forward and to my right that everybody's starting to beat on. As soon as I get this sharp eye down, I'll head over there. Nuke the 3 gates, you breach the hive, and then it will pop a second fate, a chain fate off of this one where you have to beat a boss and his big shredder turtle friend. So great experience. This is high priority. Any of the fates that pop in Redbelly Hive, they are high priority. This is actually 2 fates, but I'm going to count it as 1. There's 2 others that spawn here as well. I'll show you both of them a little later. High priority, I don't care what you're doing on the map. I don't care. The only reason not to come to these is because you are involved in another high priority fate already. Other than that, I don't care what you're doing, get your butt here. 4 grand experience, you say, okay, Magic Man, that's not that great. What's 4 grand? I could get that from Ked Traps. Yes, you could. But here's the second part, clearing the hive, where you need to take out the boss. There we go. I'll show you where we're at on the map. And then once you take out the boss, his turtle friend, big turtle named Shredder, will appear. Kind of funny. And you take that turtle out as well for a big pool of experience. If you've never done it, which I don't think I ever have, because it's never been, breaching the hive's never been available. Here's the boss guy. It'll net you an achievement once you've cleared this if you get gold. It will also open up an NPC that allows you to buy a minion pet here. So, if you don't have it, head on over with some gil and see if the hive's been breached. If it has, there's a vendor in there for you. So you got your 4K and then your 5K, boom, you automatically are now at the 10K mark for a couple minutes worth of work. Not too bad. The Negotiators, just south of Quarrymill. I always found this one funny. It's a mid-level priority. Things aren't going well, negotiation-wise, between the Coral Claw and the Goblins. So you're going to come in as the Negotiators and slaughter everybody. Easy fate, just go and nuke everybody. Mid-level priority, although it can be high-level priority because it's right outside Quarrymill, so it's very easy to get to. Not a bad little pool of experience for you to be dipping into here. Again, watch the map, watch the map, watch the map. If you're doing this and you see something else pop that's a mid or a high priority, it might be worth booking to it, depending on where it is. In fact, I'm going to show you right now my kind of thought process while I'm doing this. So here I am, beating up the cutters, having fun. Let's pop the map open here in a second or two. We'll take a look, because I'm about halfway through this fate, so I need to know if I should be headed somewhere else, or if I should be headed to Quarrymill, or headed to my party's camp point where we're farming monsters. I need to know where I'm going to be headed to. Now look, I've got Defending the Hive up. I also have the Toll fate up, but that's an easy call. Remember, the Hive is high priority. Doesn't matter which of the 3 fates are spawned there. I'm done here. I'm probably not going to do any better score-wise, so it's time to book it and beat some people there so I can latch on to some extra experience. So there's my gold medal on the Negotiators, and I'm already en route to Defending the Hive. Now, Defending the Hive is another Redbelly one, except all we're doing is killing Redbellies. There's nothing in particular. You just got to kill the waves of Redbellies that are trying to take the Hive back over from when we breached the Hive earlier. So it's kind of like a back-and-forth dynamic event. They will come and try and take the Hive. We've got to just keep killing people until the meter fills up and we're done. This is Defending the Hive. There's one more, The Hive, which we'll show last, I think, is the last one in the footage. Again, all 3, totally worth it. Get your butt up here. Not only are they decent experience for killing the actual mobs, but then, of course, the Fate is a ton of experience as well. If you lose this, the Redbelly will take over the Hive again, and then the next Fate to spawn here at some point will be breaching the Hive again. So it is a dynamic push and pull match if you guys aren't clearing this out. That's also why, look, 12,000. Perfect. That's going to get bigger, too. Hide and Seek is the other main priority Fate. Definitely go to it. Hide and Seek chains into another Fate, much like Breaching the Hive did, and so you definitely want to get a piece of both of these. Yet another Fate where you can farm some of these trappers if you want to. Most people tend to just grab the poached hides, turn them in, because they really want the second part of this Fate. And it's easy to see why. On the Breaching the Hive thing we were talking about, it is a push and pull match. You very rarely see Breaching the Hive because once it's done once during a reset, if there's enough parties farming, the Hive never gets taken over again. So if you see it on the map and you don't have the achievement for it, definitely get your butt up there so that you can grab it, because it's few and far between that you actually see breaching on most servers. So we'll pick up the hides, we will take them back to our NPC friend. Turn these bad boys in. Yeah, 6 to 8 will do it, no problem. This one normally goes very fast. Yeah, see, we're already at the 53-second mark, full turn-ins. Because it's the second one people want here. This first one, Hide and Seek, is decent experience, so and it's easy as hell. So get your butt over here when it happens. But everybody's doing it for the next one to take out the Coral Claw King, because that is worth a ton of experience. It ends up being about 11 to 12,000 when you're at the early 20s, early to mid 20s. It ends up being 20,000 to 22,000-ish when you're just about to finish up here in Quarrymill at levels 28, 29, 30. So this is the second high priority flag. The Redbelly Hive in the north, and the Taker's Rot in the east. Because hide and seek leads to Coral King, which is awesome experience. So there's 6,500, and now we'll take the Coral King. If you can get the tag on this too, somebody in your group can run into the cave and get the tag, that's always good as well. Get some bonus kudos if your party actually has the tag. Now, the one thing I haven't talked about, which while we're killing the king, I should talk about, the lower left-hand corner of the zone by Camp Tranquil does have some nice fates in it. It's got about 3 or 4 fates in it. Some of them are mobile fighting. Then there's a couple single boss things. There are some nice fates down there, some nice experience. Keep in mind, they are a bit higher level. They range from about the level 29 to level 34-ish range. So, there is a benefit to a party that is willing to bounce back and forth between Quarrymill and Camp Tranquil. And somebody will teleport, and the whole group can ride the teleport down, and there is a benefit to that. However, if you're lower, if you look at our party makeup here, we're like level 21. Most of us are level 21 through 24. It's risky keeping the hive. We'll go do that. That is the third one here. It's risky to be bouncing down to Camp Tranquil like that because sometimes even getting to the fates can be a little bit of a challenge for the early 20s and living. So if you're in the mid to late 20s predominantly for the group, it's not a bad idea where to keep the fate stuff moving, to bounce back and forth between Quarrymill and Camp Tranquil in the southwest. This last one, you do actually have to target specific Redbelly, and you have to kill 12 of them to end this fate, but other Redbelly are spawning at the same time. See, we need the Larceners, and everything else spawns too, and guess what? I didn't make it to this one in time. Boom, none of us did. We were too busy doing Coral King, which is fine. You don't leave a high priority for another high priority. So now we're going to get breaching at some point. This is my guide, though. I hope it helps you, gives you an idea of what I do going from 1 through 30. I do my hunting log, my 10 through 20 hunting log. As soon as I hit 10, I'll grab somebody to help me out with like the 18, 19 ones if I need to. I save my 20 through 30 hunting log for when I hit level 29, and then I burn my hunting log to go from 29 to 30. So easy. So I'm in Aleport from 15 to 20, and then from 20 to 29 in Quarrymill. From 29 to 30, I'm doing my hunting log, and that is it. I can do this in about 2 sittings, a total of maybe 4.5 to 5 hours. Puts on some Netflix. You got some grinding you can do and knock out those classes. Hope you liked it. Let me know what you thought. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and stay safe. We'll see you out on the servers.